So this Torah portion for this week is called Toldot, and the chapter of my book is called Your Other Side. And this story symbolizes the archetypal states of consciousness within our own selves, and it's represented by Yakov and by Esau. And the Maharal explains that even in the embryonic stage, their mother Rivka, when she would walk by a place of holiness and worship, Yakov would try to jump out of her womb and just kick, right? And when she would pass a place of idol worshiping, of disconnect, and this place that is not aligned with God, then Esav would kick. So even in the embryonic stage, there's already this action, right? And we see the Breshit Rabbah gives this story where we remember the lentil soup, the famous story. Esav comes and he sees Yaakov making soup. The soup is representing Avraham, the father, to commemorate his life. And Esav doesn't understand that and he calls him Zaken, he calls him this righteous old person, because he's giving him the kavod, he's giving him the proper respect. But he sees it as further proof that everything is futile and that even this person who walked righteously with God also died. And so it was further proof that there's no point in this world because there's no other world and there's nothing to connect to other than following your lusts and getting whatever you can out of this world. It reminds me of this album by The Doors where it's this live album, Jim Morrison saying, you can't petition the Lord with prayer, you can't petition the Lord with prayer. And then later he says, I don't know what's going to happen, man, but before this house burns up in flames, I'm going to have my fun while I can. There's this verse in Sefer Yirmiyahu, do not weep for the dead and do not lament for him. Rather, weep for the one who is moving toward it. So Esav, as Rav Joey Rosenfeld had articulated so beautifully, is inching toward death because he doesn't believe in spirituality. He's stuck in this physicality, in the finite, and connected only to his body and that lust of the things that the body craves. But Yaakov realizes that the finite can only be used for the infinite. And when you do that, you could actually be in a space of infinity, of the space of connecting to God, of this alignment that we always want. So we have to realize that we have to use our goof, our body, toward that. And so while Yaakov was commemorating and trying to elevate the soul of the grandfather, Avraham, so it's saying, do not mourn the dead, mourn the ones inching toward it. So while he was elevating and realizing that now Avraham is existing more than he's ever existed because his Torah is permeating the entire universe. All of the major faiths are from the Abrahamic faith. So if you think about it, everybody who's reading all of this wisdom from ancient Jewish mysticism and the Torah and all these faiths that are based on, they're all elevating his soul. So he's commemorating his legacy and how much more life he's going to have in this world now that this is all out there, even after his passing. While Esav is inching toward death because he doesn't believe any of that. He's only connected to the physical, the finite, and he's in this space of yeush, of depression, of constraint, of fear, of anxiety, because he's only connected to the body. So Rav Yosef Yitzchak, the 6th Lubavitcher Rebbe, teaches that all the people on the face of the earth must know that our bodies have been sent into exile and servitude of foreign rulers, but our souls have not been exiled or enslaved. The only part holding our souls back is our bodies, but only if we serve our bodies, rather than having our bodies serve our souls. So we have to realize that when we tap into Yakov and the redemptive consciousness and this space that is beyond the physicality and beyond the finite, then we can actually tap into that infinite light and love, and we could actually live in this space and use the body toward the soul, and that's how we bring the redemption. So I pray that we move continuously toward the light and love and bring the redemption, rather than, as we read in Sefer Yirmiyahu, that verse, rather than moving toward death. That's what we want to avoid. We want to avoid the nefesh habehemit, the evil inclination, which is represented by Esav, but use that toward the yetzer tov, the good inclination, and that which represents the total alignment with Hashem as creations to our Creator. Shabbat Shalom. Love you guys so much.